CES has been around for about 55 years. It stands for Community Emergency Service. And what we are is we're one of the largest food shelves in the poorest area of the Twin Cities, an area called the Phillips neighborhood. CSI has been incredibly valuable to us because we operate a number of programs in addition to our food shelf. We're one of the largest Meals on Wheels provider in the state of Minnesota. We run a food shelf, of course, which serves hundreds and hundreds of people every day. And we also run a program, the only program of its kind in the state, which is focused on animals. It's called Meals. And we deliver pet food and vaccination services, veterinary services to people that have low or no income all over the cities. As part of the process of going through our programs, it became pretty apparent to me that we would not be able to do anything without the proper IT infrastructure. I mean, every single thing that we have done in the past year, its underpinnings are really a strong, sound IT infrastructure for the organization. This sounds really simple, but people would pick up the phone when I would call. We weren't waiting forever in sort of a queue of lineups in the call and stuff like that. And so when I would call or I would text to members of the CSI team, they would actually answer. Incredibly helpful to us. They came in and not only provided us IT support generally, but really helped us troubleshoot the areas within our organization that were most in need of help, especially given the kinds of innovations that I wanted to bring forward into the organization. Would come and spend time in our programs, would come and volunteer. They support many of our initiatives, fundraising activities. I think for service providers and what I would say partners like CSI, the most important thing to me is that you actually spend time getting to know the organization, and you can't do that on the phone, you can't do that virtually. I think a few things. First, because we had been operating for so long at, I guess, what I would call subpar IT systems, if you can even call it that. We weren't in the cloud. We had a vast array of different kinds of computers, floppy drives, things like that. I think over time, people just started to make the assumption that was normal, right? And so a lot of the things that we would look at, perhaps CSI would look at from outside the organization that would seem to make no sense at all, were normal business practices for people in CES. I think that very quickly after we started working with CSI, it became apparent that these were not insurmountable problems. These were actually problems that had a very obvious solution and a fix. CSI has been through it many times before. And we started off slow. We started to slowly gain confidence in making changes into our IT systems and infrastructures to the point now where we absolutely are one of the leaders in innovation in the nonprofit space. We've introduced things like appointment systems, real-time appointment systems. The very first refrigerated food lockers have been introduced in the Midwest right in CES, and we would literally not be able to do that without the support of CSI. The most basic and important reason was that CSI took an interest in our business. It took an interest in our people. Many of the account representatives from CSI CSI know us by name. We have their phone numbers, we can text them, and so I think there's a very customer-centric type of approach that CSI has with us that has really helped our team. A big goal of relieving hunger within the places that we operate. It is incredible to me that we have literally tripled the amount of people that we see in our food shelf from this time last year. So we used to see probably about 125 people a day we would feed in the food shelf. Last week was an all-time record for us. It was 460 people. And in any normal business, that growth would be very laudable. Within a nonprofit that's feeding literally the poorest of the poor people, it is heartbreaking to see that kind of need. And unfortunately, I'd like to be able to say that we're solving that need, but every indication seems to be that it's going up and up and up. So our superhero power that we wish for every day is we could wave a magic wand and literally eliminate hunger from the people that are most disadvantaged in our economy.